Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Saturday the 12th of June 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Mystical Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about Saturday and what's coming up for you. So I'm going to choose 3 cards. Let's have a look. First card is the 10 of Wands, the 4 of Swords. Again, we had that yesterday. That's interesting. And finally, what's that? The King of Cups. Yikes. Okay, he looks a little bit odd. Okay. It's like this cosmic umbilical cord out behind him, which I suppose the King of Cups is all about, this connection to Source and feeling the love. But I mean, there are prettier ways of making that point, I think. Okay, I'm not the artist. Who am I to criticize? All right, we've got the 10 of Wands, which is a card that says things are a bit much. You may feel a little bit like you've bitten off more than you can chew. Things are heavy. There's a big burden that you're carrying around. There's a lot going on and you're just trying to kind of keep on top of everything. This kind of speaks to me at the moment because I've mentioned this quite a few times, but I'm mentioning it because I'm really feeling the effect, and that's Mercury Retrograde. This Mercury Retrograde, as far as I'm concerned, is the most intense one that we've had in years. And I think partially that's because Mercury is in the sign that it rules Gemini. So it was always going to be powerful. But personally, I've had problems with transportation, communication, the internet. It just feels like it's never ending. And that's what this card is all about. It says that there's certain things in life that you are devoted to and that you care about. Each one, remember, represents something that's like a passion of yours that you really care about. So he's trying to keep it all together. He's trying to do the best he can. But all these desires that he's got, they've almost turned like into a sail. He's put one wand across to make it easier to hold. But now the wind is catching it and he's being blown away by this. So it's almost like the world seems to be against him and that whatever he devotes himself to is complicated and he experiences pushback. And it's just like, can I catch a break? I mean, on one hand, you could argue that he can just kind of relax and go parasailing or paragliding, whatever it's called, to kind of say, I'm just going to try and enjoy this and be in the present moment. And if the wind's blowing everything away anyway, I'm just going to make the most of it. And then when I land, I'm going to try again. But that's not how we react. We react to things not going our way by exerting ourselves more and by trying harder. So I actually think that this card in combination with this one, where you see someone's resting and kind of praying, that it's important not to struggle against what is. Things aren't going to be ideal. Things are somewhat challenging at the moment. And trying to have a good time amongst all the problems as such is really the best way forward, because if you try even harder to solve issues and challenges, you're just going to pile them up and it's going to become something that's outside of your control, according to this card. Also, it feels like you're on your own doing it. We've got this young man, and we've got the town, the church, the village down here, and it's totally quiet and it just seems very far away. So there isn't any support. It's like you're on your own dealing with everything that's going on in your life. And if it gets out of control, then you're the only one who's going to be blown away by it. So even if you feel somewhat isolated and things are hard and no one's helping you, realize that other people are pretty much in the same situation and that they're doing the best they can, and that you do have the freedom to choose your reaction and whether you're going to keep throwing things at something that isn't budging anyway, or whether you try and have a good time. The next card is the 4 of Swords. In the 4 of Swords, you can see a knight kind of praying, meditating in a church there. He's lying down, so he's resting, and he's within the church. The 5 of Pentacles is a card that shows 2 people who've kind of been thrown out, and it's rejection and tough times and they have to make it on their own. He hasn't been thrown out. He's welcome. He's got the angels kind of tending to him. In the stained glass window, we've got this angel blessing the knight, which looks very similar to him. And we have a sword that's kind of being lowered down to him. So it's like he's asking for a solution, and the solution is being presented to him. So it makes sense. A knight uses a sword to go into battle, so that's kind of necessary. But symbolically, swords represent ideas and thoughts and insights. And rather than trying to figure it all out by yourself and trying to control everything and to hang on to it, it's going to serve you to appeal to your gut, to your intuition, to the way you feel about things. If you have a connection with something bigger, then to have a dialogue with that and to ask for help and to say, do you know what, I feel a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. Can you give me some insight into how I can deal with this? Or can you show me the way? Or can you do it for me? Or can you make things a little bit easier? I just need some help. Whichever way you want to provide that help, I'm willing to receive it, and I'm willing to work on these things in my life in a way that's more productive, because I'm not doing it solo. I'm asking you for support and guidance, and with your help, I feel that then I can do it. So it's really important to be willing to listen to your gut feeling and to say, okay, I, on a conscious level, think that I need to tie all these things up and I need to put this across to have order and reason and for it to be manageable. But my higher self is telling me that, for instance, I need to leave this alone altogether and focus on something else. I'm going to listen to that guidance and I'm going to do that. And that's going to make the experience that you have on this day a lot more pleasant and restful and easy and ultimately productive, because you're operating in an area that actually is willing to work with you. And it's interesting that this is swords, and I spoke about the Mercury Retrograde, because it's about doing something differently. It's trying out new ways of being. It's trying out new ways of handling problems and situations that come your way in kind of symbiotic relationship. No, that's not it. In kind of not doing it alone, but working with your higher self in tandem and saying, I'm not going to handle this alone the way I've always handled it. I'm going to try and do it differently by listening to my guides, my angels, my intuition, and they're telling me to look at doing this in a completely new way, and I'm just going to try that out, even if I don't know it's going to have a positive outcome or not. I'm willing to try. We've got these little butterflies at the bottom, so it's about transformation through spiritual insight. So let yourself be transformed and let the outcome be different, because it's a different person approaching those situations. Finally, we've got this King of Cups, which I really don't find very pleasant. So the King of Cups is someone who's in charge of the element of cups, and he manages his feelings very well. He's loving, he's considerate. He's got, again, emotional freedom. The horse is really something that can make the world a lot smaller. If you kind of get on the back of a horse and you try and go somewhere, you're going to be there a lot quicker than if you do it on foot. So he's figured out that being in charge of the emotions really gets him what he wants, and that he has major access to all the love in the world, in the universe, and that he's not lacking anything. He's not wanting for anything. So emotionally, he's resilient, he's powerful, he feels loved, and he's able to love and give that to others. So that gives you a sense of certainty. That equilibrium that this certainty kind of hands you allows you to take a moment to listen, because sometimes listening to your guidance is scary. It's like, I'm trying to do everything by myself. It's not really working. Am I going to appeal to some invisible force to help me? What if things get worse? And that's where often the ego comes in and says, don't listen. Things will get even more out of control. So you have the presence of mind and the emotional kind of inner harmony to listen and to say, okay, please help me. What am I supposed to do? That will give you the answers. It'll hand you a solution. And then you don't have to kind of go flying and be completely out of control, because you're actually approaching things with the right tools. And each card is like a level of experience. We've got a young man here, then we've got a knight, and then we've got the king. So there's a rhyme and reason to all of this. So let yourself be guided by the universe and you'll get into a much more solid position in terms of the way you feel. And your life circumstances are really kind of arbitrary. They're not that important. They may seem important, but what's really important today is personal growth, because that growth is going to be there for the rest of your life. And then in future, when things are challenging again, you'll be able to handle them more easily. Number-wise, we've got 10 and 4 is 14, and 1 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6, and 6 is a temporary opportunity to connect with your angels, your guides, and to really learn from them, and to handle situations that were out of control before. So have a great day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website, gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Readings to order your reading with me. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have a great day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.